Our glorious king has returned. Well, sort of. He's never really been in Master Duel, but he's here now, and that's all that matters. How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be doing a Red Eyes deck profile for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, now that Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is back in the game. For those of you who don't know, this guy's an absolute powerhouse of a boss monster. He swings the tides of battle into your favor once he hits the field, or your opponents if they summon their own. He's an insane game ender. He's an insane first turn, second turn, it doesn't matter. You throw a Dragoon on the field, like things are going very, very well for you. So he's got a couple of things going on. Let's go over what he does. He's the main guy of the deck. He can't be destroyed by card effects. It's great. Neither player can target him with card effects. It's phenomenal. I don't know why I can't. I control him, I summon them, but I can't target him. That's messed up. During your main phase, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. You can use this effect a number of times per turn, up to the number of normal monsters used as fusion material for this card. And this guy's materials are Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon, or any dragon monster, any dragon effect monster in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So we are summoning him with these two materials, these two vanilla monsters. So we get two non-targeting destruction burn pops. Like there's so much going on in this effect, and not only is there so much going on in the effect, there's so much going on twice. And then when a card or effect is activated, soft once per turn, by the way. When a card or effect is activated, discard a card, negate the activation, and if you do destroy that, and if you do destroy the card, he gains 1,000 attack. Absolutely phenomenal card. 3,000 attack is nothing to scoff at when it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So he's our big boss man. And what makes him really, really cool is that Verte Anaconda is in the game. You see, in OCG, Verte Anaconda is in OCG. Verte is in the game, but Dragoon isn't. In TCG, Dragoon's in the game, but Verte isn't. In Master Duel, we've got both, so we can see what it really does. So this guy just needs two effect monsters. You pay 2,000 and you send a fusion card, and you can just summon Dragoon. Just any two monsters just makes Dragoon. We don't have to hard draw our Red Eyes Fusion. But this new ban list is it changed a lot. There's a lot of fun things I got going on here. I've got a couple of cool replays. So if you guys like what's going on here, I've got some replays for you that I can commentate over so you guys can see. But let's get right into it. So our starting off is our Dark Magician. So we just play this because it's the fusion material we need for Dragoon. Next we play two Red Eyes Black Dragons. Two's like such a great number. Back in the day, you used to have to run like 3 or 4 because there was so few Red Eyes names, and so you would play like Insight and stuff like that, and you would have to make sure you like didn't see them because they were so bricky and you needed them in the deck. Red Eyes Malefic Dragon. But now we can play comfortable 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon. We send one off the fusion and we send one off our Black Flare, our Black Meteor. And it's pretty chill. Even if we see them on our hand, there's nothing wrong with that. We just lose out on a card because we're going to be sending it for these specific things. But both of them can send from hand. Back in the day, Malefic Red Eyes, man, he didn't send from hand. He's banished specifically from deck. So that was always rough to work with. Next we have 3 Black Metal Dragon. He's what we want to see the most. He's our main combo guy. Like, we normal summon him, and then we combo off an insane amount. A bunch of cards in this deck are searchable through him. Every Red Eyes card. So, Red Eyes Black Dragon, which comes up. Red Eyes Fusion, Red Eyes Insight, our Trap lineup here, and Black Meteor, and Darkness Metal, and our Red Eyes Wyvern. Everything here is searchable, and, like, if you know anything about Dragon Link or Red Eyes, then you know Darkness Metal and Meteor Dragon. You know they're both good for extending and getting stuff on the field and getting things going. These other guys, they don't seem as good, but we actually play Saryuja. So if you open up these guys already, you essentially have extra draws. I mean, you have extra searches, and you can search for Red Eyes Fusion or Red Eyes Black Dragon, and then you're just guaranteed to put those back with your Saryuja. So it's something that comes up every now and then, that you can just search things just to make sure you have like a guaranteed better put back for Saryuja. So Saryuja turns into like draw 3 cards essentially, because you're putting these bricks back that you're purposely taking out after you've got all this other stuff out. So he's a really cool card. He's great. He does like on his own. You're getting to Saryuja, and you extend from there depending on what you have already and what you've drawn. And there's a lot of like everything in here is like I don't have a lot of like once per turn stuff. I mean, I don't have a lot of like everything I have is like hard once per turns, but other than Black Metal's search. But there's so many power cards. There's so many things that do things in conjunction with other things. Like this is like I mean, that's usually how Dragon Link goes, but this is a more Red Eyes focused one. Like you end on some pretty cool stuff. So next up, we have one World Chalice Guard Dragon. He's just a great guy. He summons a normal dragon, normal monster from your graveyard to a zone a Link monster points to. So we can bring back Red Eyes, which comes up every now and then. He's a wind dragon, so if we see him in our hand with Tempest, we can discard both of them to add any dragon in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! From our deck to our hand. We play Ib, so once Ib leaves the field, we summon this from our deck or graveyard, which is really cool, which means she can get ashed and belled. But we can summon him back from deck or grave, and he just works so well with the deck. And if our opponent, like, let's say we have like a Pisty, and then like a Saryuja pointing to it, and they try to imperm the Pisty, this actually prevents targeting, and he puts himself in grave. So if they try to target something while we have this in our hand, and it's linked, then we can just negate it, which is really cool. It comes up every now and then, and like no one ever sees it coming, and it's just he's a great guy overall. Absolutely phenomenal addition to the deck. We play 3 Ash Blossoms to stop our Maxi, and like it's a nice card to draw into off of Saryuja and hold on to. We play Moonlit Chill because it's a wind monster, so it works. It has some Tempest synergy, and it's also a burn card. So if our opponent summons during our turn, and we Moonlit Chill it, and then we Dragoon destroy that monster, they're taking double the burn damage. So if they summon like a 2,500 attack monster, then we Moonlit Chill it, we Dragoon it, and then they take 5,000 right there, just bang, and then Dragoon attacks directly, and that's it. It's over. Or Dragoon pops something else. He pops 3,000 attack monster. It's done for. Wyvern. I absolutely love Red Eyes Wyvern. I used to be like, he's alright. He's kind of just like a backup play. If you're activating Wyvern, things are going wrong. I was wrong. This guy's a goat. He's a level 4 dragon, so you can actually play Seifert, and you can discard him and like search for you can search him off of Black Metal and discard him off of Seifert to search for Collapse Serper and a Wyvern Buster. He's a wind dragon, so we can search him. So he has Tempest synergies as well, just like World Chalice. And he's a Red Eyes name. And if we don't normal summon, which aside from Black Metal Dragon, like we're not really normal summoning anything here. So if we don't normal summon during our end phase, we can just bring back any Red Eyes monster. So we can bring back a Darkness Metal, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, Black Meteor, or Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And we either have the Dragoon for his negate and his just overall overwhelming presence, or we can have targets for our Fanglet Chain to steal. He's a great guy, absolutely phenomenal. Because sometimes you do go the grind game, like with this deck. You just go back and forth. Like sometimes you can OTK depending on what your opponent has, but they stop you, you stop them, and you're just going back and forth. And if you've got a Dragoon in play, you're just gonna destroy them. Like every deck has like a couple of outs to Dragoon, but it's hard to combo, get an out for Dragoon, and play through play through and stop your opponent. There's just so much going on, and Dragoon just adds so much to it, especially when he's just constantly coming back. You keep sealing the cracks, but he's gonna keep coming back, bro. Next, we play an extremely tiny rocket engine. We play Rocket Tracer and Rocket Caliber. That's it. We play Quick Launch to search them when we play Boot Sector, but in terms of monsters, we're playing these two and Apsa Router. There's no like Bora Load synchro like going on. We simply don't have the room, and we don't have the luxury. If we start playing too many rockets, it's gonna like conflict with some of the other things we have going on. So the cool thing about these two is that they're level 4 dragon tuners. So dragon, you know, everything here is a dragon for a reason. But they're level 4 tuners. That's the important part. So Black Metal Dragon and World Chalice Guard Dragon plus either one of these two is our Ib, because she's a level 5 synchro, generic synchro. So when she's summoned, then we can search for our World Legacy Guard Dragon. So we just use any one of these guys, and we can search them off of the Apps router that we send off Ravine, and then summon them with Boot Sector, or we just hard draw into Quick Launch and summon them, and then we get this guy, and then we get our Ib going, and there's just so much advantage rolling when you've got Ib and World Legacy Guard Dragon going. It's a really, really fun combo, really fun to play. This is like OG Dragon Link, this is like Dragon Link without LP, man. Next we have our Black Meteor Dragon. So we use our Black Meteor Dragon and either one of our Dragon Rulers to summon Mega Phantom Beast Dracosack. And then we have Dracosack, 2 tokens. We link a token for a Link Spider, and then Romulus is going to be on the field because he's usually sticking around by then. And then we go into Saryuja. Black Metal Dragons either search for a Wyvern, or you're just at that point you've gotten so many cards out the deck from Black Metal searching, from Apsa Router sending, Dragon Ravine. Like there's so many things that get things out of the deck that you're just bound to run into like what you need, like World Legacy, World Chalice, Black Metal, Wyvern. So a lot of the time, like I just go into Saryuja Hail Mary, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Like at worst case scenario, you draw something, and then you get like a Heratic and a Predaplant, or you get like a Predaplant and like IP, or you get something decent on the field, and that's like you're kind of fine. Like you're kind of all right. Because no matter what, even if Saryuja whiffs, worst case you'll be able to get a Dragoon out. Like this deck will like spit 2 monsters out like easily. So even if the Saryuja gets stopped, you still have like 3 zones, and then like Pisty or whatever. Like there's so much you can do. Next I forgot to mention one thing. So he's good for our rank 7 plays because he sends a normal monster. You can actually send Dark Magician. I've almost misclicked a couple of times because for some reason it's just the first option. So don't do that. If you do that, you kind of just lose. But yeah, he sends our Red Eyes from deck to grave. He summons himself. Mandatory becomes level 7. And then during the main phase, except the turn he's sent to the graveyard, you can banish him and add a Red Eyes Fusion from your deck or grave. This is really cool because if they stop Red Eyes Fusion, you can get it back next turn and just activate it. Because there is no cost to Red Eyes Fusion. It doesn't send for cost as a fusion card. So if they stop it, you can just add it back next turn, activate it again. Now they have to deal with it again with the threat of it. So it's going to force a negate if they have it. Or if they don't have it, then the Dragoon's coming out. If you do summon Dragoon, you can just add back Red Eyes Fusion just to have a discard, just to negate. He keeps up the tempo, he keeps up the advantage. It's phenomenal. Next up is Magnemite. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of play him just because I kind of like him. He doesn't do a crazy amount for us on our turn. What I do like though is that during the end phase, he's grabbing any dragon. So even if you exhaust your hand, like building a decent board, if you summon Magnemite you're getting a dragon at the end phase. So you can get a Dragon Ruler that you haven't seen. You can get a Router to discard off of Dragoon to negate, and then search another one of these guys and have another negate for your turn. You can search for Chalice to have a targeting negate, or just a discard for Dragoon. Like he's got some utility, but he doesn't do a crazy amount for you on your turn. He is a 6. He's a 6, so you can use him with one of these guys to make Disbatter. But there's you can do some tricks with Black Meteor. You can summon him with Darkness Metal. You can summon him with Romulus. You can summon him with like there was something else you could summon him with. You can summon him back with Spirit. You can summon him back a couple of different ways, not from his effect, and then he becomes a 6, and he just stays as a 6. So you can use him for Disbatter with these two, or one of these two. So he's got some synergies. At worst, he's just a free dragon essentially. Like you can banish some of these guys; it doesn't matter. He's just a free dragon. He gets you a search at the end phase. What I really like is like sometimes you lose the die roll, the coin flip, you go second, and he's just very good going second. If you start with him, he's a disruption. There's so many tier elements and just graveyard decks in Master Duel. If you see Magnemite, then you're disrupting your opponent and you're getting a thing on your turn. Sometimes they even waste an Ash on this, so like so your Red Ash Fusion is safe. So he's pretty great. He's pretty great, but like you could probably cut him for something else. But I do enjoy his presence. Next up, we have 2 Dragon Rulers. We have specifically Tempest and Blaster. There's a reason why we play those two. And that's because there's a couple of like winds that we just have synergy with, and like different aspects of the deck. So Tempest is just a perfect fit. He's always been, ever since like they brought Tempest back to 1. I've like always just been like, yo, this guy's like insanely perfect. He's even got similar Red Eye stats, 24, 22 to 24 and 2000. But essentially, he's a free summon from our hand or graveyard. We just banish 2 dragons or winds. He comes back every turn. We can discard him in a wind and add any dragon. And then if he is banished, we get a wind dragon from our deck to grave. But we can only use 1 effect per turn. So he has 3 effects, but we can only use 1 of those. This guy's a little different. We can discard him in a fire and or dragon. And we can banish a fire and or 2 dragons. 2 fires or 2 dragons, a mix of, and then summon him from hand or grave. Every Dragon Ruler has that. They're banished their typing and their attribute and a dragons. And this guy, what's it called? So you can discard him in a fire to pop a card in the field. We only play 1 other fire, and we don't really want to use it for that. But if he is banished, we can add 1 fire dragon from our deck to grave. And like I said, we only have 1 fire dragon, and we have a Lord of the Red. So we try and see our Blaster, we try and see our Tempest, and then we banish our Blaster through whatever means, and then we search for our Lord of the Red, because he's not a Red Eyes monster by name, but he is a Red Eyes in our hearts. And his ritual spells are Red Eyes, so we can search for that. So Tempest is mainly gonna banish your Blaster, and then help you go into Draco Sack, just like 2014. And then your Blaster is gonna get you your Lord of the Red, and that's essentially Blaster's job, just to get you Lord of the Red. We also play Gold Sark, so we can banish our Blaster to get our Lord of the Red, or we can even banish our Tempest and get Wyvern or Chalice. There's like, it depends on like how big you want to think. There's a lot of different like ways you can go about this deck. Every starting hand you have is going to play out a little differently and end on a slightly different board with little like varying levels of power, but they're all going to be pretty damn good. Next, we play 1 Router Dragon. This is just a target for our Ravine, so we can send this to grave, and then we can search for either one of these guys. If we start with this, then it's a great discard. Either any one of these is a great discard off of Ravine to send the other one of this kind. So like if we start Router, we can discard it, send Tempest. If we start Tempest, we can send it to send this guy. Like they all just work so well together. None of these are bricks. They're all like great. And even if we start this, even if we don't want to discard this, we can just special summon it if we control a rocket. So he can be for our Draco Sack as well. Yeah, and that's all for this guy. Next we play 2 Darkness Metal. I played 2, but the second one has never come up. But I still play him just in case he does come up. But because usually we're just running through things so fast that like it's just unimportant. But I think it's still like necessary to play 2, just in case for Black Metal Dragon. Because we play 3, we have to play 3 Black Metal Dragon. We have to see it, so we have to play 2 Darkness Metal because we're gonna use 1 for our combo, and then if we have another one, an extra Black Metal Dragon, if we draw it for turn, then we can summon it, link it off or whatever, and then search for another Darkness Metal Dragon, and you know we can bring something back. We can bring Lord of the Red back. We can bring Magnum back, the Tempest, or whatever. It enables us to get going, and it's another name to send off of Insight, if anything. Well, we've got some good targets for Insight already, but the second one, I'm not 1000% sure on. If you want to tweak that, you can definitely tweak that. You can switch them out for like a Monster Reborn or something. Next, we play 1 Lord of the Red. This is a great guy. This is a guy I've been waiting to use in an actual deck for so long. I've built decks around him and whatnot, and he's just extremely fun. So he's a level 8 Fire Dragon, which makes him not fit Red Eyes in the slightest. And he's not a Red Eyes by name or anything. So when a card or effect is soft once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can target a monster on the field, destroy it. Soft once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, target a spell trap on the field, destroy it. He 2 pops on a monster / spell trap every single turn. We have so many quick effects. We have Dragoon's Negate, we have Heradic's Bounce, we have these trap cards, Called by the Grave. There's so many quick effects. We can even use this if we don't use it. So many, like, we can mandatory trigger it. I mean, not mandatory. We can manually trigger it. We can chain it to our opponent's effects. He's a phenomenal card, great boss monster. It's a little tricky to get out, as you can see. We have to draw into him or see him, and then or see Blaster or see Goldstark. So he can be a little tricky to get into, but it's not like the absolute worst thing. Like we run through so many cards, we can force out Blaster with the Ravine. It's not like an insanely difficult thing to do. I thought it was gonna be less consistent and I was gonna have to cut him, but it works out pretty well and it's pretty fun. We play 1 for 1. This is essentially a 4th copy of Black Metal Dragon. Everything we have here is like perfectly fine going to grave. So yeah, 1 for 1's basically combo without normal summoning. So if you have some other crazy play, you contribute some of this guy. I've done it before. Like 1 for 1's just a great card. We have our Red Eyes Fusion to fusion summon our Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Pretty simple. It's just activate it. You send the materials. So we'd send Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Magician, and then we summon Dragoon. And we can't summon normal or special for the whole turn. We can't normal or special the whole turn, but we can set. So if you see this card, if you draw into it, you just use it. If you start with Insight, this searches Red Eyes Fusion. If you start with this or this, you just use it. You don't have to like worry about it. Just use it. Just see what happens. Worst case scenario, you lose, you go to the next game. But sometimes you see the Red Eyes Fusion, you just activate it, man. What's the worst that'll happen? Like if you have Dragoon and like a hand trap or 2, that's very difficult for a lot of decks to get over. And especially if you get Max Seed, bro, standby phase Max Seed, Red Eyes Fusion, bro. You get your 1 card. Our opponent gets their 1 card back, and like easy. Insight's a great card. It's gotten better over the years. The more targets we get. So you send a Red Eyes monster from hand or deck as cost, foolish for cost. And this card is actually pretty old. I think it's like Invasion of Vengeance. Like it's pretty damn old. And yeah, you send the Red Eyes monster for cost, and then you add a Red Eyes spell or trap. So we can add any of our traps. We can add our Transmigration ritual spell. We can add our fusion spell. But that's like the cool aspect. But if we can search this off of Black Metal Dragon, but the advantage to getting this as opposed to just getting the spell or trap that we wanted is that this foolishes. So we can put our Wyvern in grave, so it's all set up. If we're in a weird game state, we can put our Black Meteor in grave, so we can get our fusion back next turn. Like sometimes like that's just how games go. You just send this instead, so you get your fusion back to try and fuse again, or to get the discard. Sometimes you send Wyvern because you want him in grave to recur. I only play this at 1 because you only ever need to do that once. Like if you want to search this, I mean, if you want to search, you have Black Metal Dragon to search. If you start with this, it's great. But if you start with 2, if you draw into it after exhausting your Red Eyes names, it kind of sucks. So 1's perfectly fine, at least for now. We play 1 Ravine to search off of our Romulus, and this just lets us foolish any dragon in the game. We discard a card and just foolish any dragon. Pretty simple. We just went over all of our targets already. We play 1 Boot Sector launch. Now this card is phenomenal in this build. So before I wasn't actually playing it, and then once I played the Rocket Engine, then I was like, I might as well. Originally I was just like, quick launch and these guys, and then I'll be all right. And then I was like, I might as well play 1 because you're always summoning Striker Dragon. You might as well play it. And then I realized that worst case scenario, I'm taking a card out of the deck and adding it for free, so it's discard for Dragoon. At the absolute worst case scenario, that's what happens. And at the best case scenario, I'm summoning these guys out, or I'm recurring them from grave every turn, like in those grind game kind of games. Like this card's just phenomenal to have. And even if you draw it, like you can just not summon Striker Dragon, and then you can do like other stuff, and then you can just summon Saryuja and just put it back, and then summon Striker Dragon later to add it back for free. So this card's very useful, very handy. It's just you summon up to 2 from your hand, or you can summon from your grave. You can summon different names from your grave up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, if they control monsters and you don't, or more than you do. Yeah, more than you do. So it's a pretty damn good card. You get so much out of it. It's a field spell, so it just stays up there. So every turn you can do either one of those. It's really great. It enables so much. We have our ritual spell for our Lord of the Red, and this card's cool. So we can actually banish Red Eyes monster. We can tribute any kind of monster from our hand or field, but we can also banish Red Eyes from our graveyard. And Darkness Metal is level 10, so we have a Darkness Metal in our graveyard from our combo, and we just banish it basically for free. So we don't ever have to worry about tributing the right amount. You can even banish Lord of the you can banish Dragoon. I mean, you can banish Dragoon for Lord of the Red off of the ritual spell, and you can bring back Dragoon with Disbatter. It's really cool, like neat little synergy there. Of course, you have other ways of bringing back Dragoon from graveyard, like that's kind of risky, but that is something you can do. So you have to keep in mind all these little niche interactions, because they're very important in the game to game, like card by card. Like everything is just, there's just so many niche little interactions you have to know with this deck. But like I've played these cards for like years in like the same deck, different decks, so like it's like intuitive for me. It's like second nature. I could probably play this deck better than I can breathe. And next up we have 1 World Legacy Guard Dragon. When Ib got banned, I like took all these out of the deck and like every Red Eyes build I've ever made. But then I realized like this card's great at 1. Like at 1, you see it, you don't, whatever. Your life doesn't like get worse. But if you see it, your life gets better. Like you see this and like Black Metal Dragon, and like it's like 2 cards Saryuja with a bunch of searches. And if you don't see it, you can search it over this girl. And she does other things for the deck too, by getting this guy out into play, and and being just a material on the field. So this card just it helps you out with your Pisty plays as well. It's a free reborn that's searchable, and it's a face-up card on the field. So we have a couple of cards that just kind of stay up on the field. We have this card. We have 2 field spells, and it helps out with our droplets, because droplets is essentially like free. Like, these cards have already like served their purpose. They can do more for us later, but they can also immediately do stuff for us with droplets. And I absolutely love like keeping this card on the field, and every single turn, whether it's important or not, moving a dragon. Like, it's just so fun. I don't know why, but if you've ever played this card, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, this card's great. It does this and Black Metal Dragon is just like full combo. If there is a combo, it extends your combo extremely far. And then we play 2 quick launch to get one of our 2 rocket monsters on the field without committing to any normal summon or anything. Maybe we've committed something else to our normal summon and we're just getting an extra monster out. This isn't once per turn or anything, but it's not searchable, so if we see it, great. If we don't see it, oh well. Not much you can do. We play 2 Called by the Grave as our defensive card for Max Z. Called by the Grave and Ash Blossom to stop Max Z, stop other hand traps, even stop our opponent from playing. Like, I love in the middle of our opponent's combo, we called by an important piece so that it can't be used, and then chaining Lord of the Red to pop another important piece on the field. In 2 cards, we've stopped so much already. It's a really fun card to play in this with Lord of the Red. Next, we play 2 droplets. So we end with so much stuff on the field. Like, we just kind of have like extra stuff on the field. So we have our World Legacy Guard Dragon. We have our field spell. One of our 2 field spells is going to be up on the field. Verte is usually up on the field, and you can just send them for free off of droplets. This guy's a liability on the field, and this doesn't really do much of anything other than being fun. And these guys can do stuff, but there's probably no other dragon you want to foolish if you've already went through your combo, and if they've broken your board, then obviously you want to keep this. But you wouldn't know that until afterwards. So you can send there's up to 3 cards that are just basically free sends off of droplets. So it's just a great card for breaking our opponent's boards. If we go second, we go first, we set it, and it's just free negates essentially. And then we have a small trap package and Spirit to bring back our Dragoon, or to bring back our Darkness Metal, or whatever we need to help keep our combo going. We can bring back any other Red Eyes name. For presence, we just bring back Dragoon, and then we play 2 Fang with Chain. And this is basically we can target a Red Eyes monster we control, and then equip this card onto it, and then in a separate chain, we can send the Fang with Chain to grave, and then target a monster on the field and equip it to that Red Eyes. So we essentially get the Sinful Spoils card, the one that makes a monster like a face up. Yeah, we essentially get Subversion as a trap card. So we can do it whenever. One issue is that it doesn't work with Dragoon, but if they negate Dragoon, then we can target them and we can equip them with the Fanglith Chain. But we have so many other Red Eyes names that could be on the field still, that we can get on the field, especially with Spirit, that it doesn't really matter that it doesn't work with Dragoon. Worst case scenario, we just hold it for discard. Best case scenario, we can use it to disrupt our opponent by just taking their monster. So it's a really good card. And that monster we take can also be used as a droplet material, or a droplet send. So it's really cool. Our extra deck, we've went over Dragoon. He's a big boss monster. He's an Omni Negate, he's Destruction, he's Pop, he's Protection. He's everything you could ever want. It's perfectly fine. That's it. Our Ib, so on Synchro Summon, she's adding a World Chalice card, or World Legacy card. Yeah, World Legacy. Which is our World Legacy Guard Dragon. You could also play, it's in here somewhere. you can play this card. I tried it out before. You can play this card as well. So if you start with this, you can search for this, and this can help you extend pretty well. I just don't like this because like it's good like partially through your combo, but it's not good in the beginning of the combo because Striker Dragon and Pisty point left and right. Like Link Karibo is like kind of weird. If you like a weird situation to be in, not a bad situation to be in, but like maybe you started with like a level 4, so you can't Link Karibo. Like it's just a card that like could potentially not be that good, could break you. So I don't like playing it. But you could play that as a backup option if you've already got this, then for when you synchro summon this. But I find it just fine. It's fine as just one card, because if you do already have this, then she's still gonna be a monster in the field that floats into another monster. So you can use her for Saryuja. You can link her off with Saryuja. You can make her into part of an Appaloosa, a Masquerena, and Verte. There's a couple different options of what you can do with her, but it depends on the board state you're in. But she's gonna summon this guy back from grave, or just bring it out from the deck. So she's gonna put some stuff in rotation. It's great. Next we have Disbatter. Disbatter doesn't always come out. He comes out every now and then, but he's a negate or destruction on our during either player's turn. It's a quick effect. Yeah, we banished quite a bit, so he's guaranteed to at least have a destruction. But our opponent has, or if we do Magnamut, then we do guarantee. If we Magnamut our opponent's graveyard, then we guarantee that we get a negate, a monster negate. If not, then we get a destruction, which is perfectly fine too. But he's such a cool monster because he summons a banished light or dark, so we can bring back like a black metal or something that we banished, and then we can keep extending and searching. And on top of that, he's a disruption for our opponent. He's such an insane boss monster. Like he just does so much. He does so much with just 2 effects. Like he's good. He's good, man. I don't know what to say. We've got our 1 Draco Sack. Draco Sack can pop a card our opponent controls, or pop a card on the field. Actually, he just pops anything. He can pop a card on the field if necessary, and we don't really use that, but you know, it could come up. But what we mainly use him for is to summon his 2 tokens, and then link a token off for our Link Spider, and then summon a Saryuja. Because this guy and 2 tokens, one of them into Link Spider. That's 3 monsters with different names already, and so we just need 1 guy, and then yeah, we just need one more monster, and then that's it. And we usually have like a Striker Dragon, a Romulus, just chilling on the field. So it all works out pretty well. And then yeah, Link Spider is for this guy's tokens, or Nibiru token. If we get Nibiru, then you can link that token off for a Link Spider, summon any 1 monster, and go into Verte and destroy Nibiru, burn your opponent for 3,000, and maybe that's what you end on. Maybe you can extend a little bit more, but that's still not that bad either. So it's part of our combo, but it could also be part of our recovery play if need be. And you can also link Red Eyes or Dark Magician. If for some reason Dark Magician's on your field, you can link either one of these for Link Spider, and then like if you bring it back with World Chalice Guard Dragon, you can link it off for Link Spider and then go into Verte. So it's got a lot of versatility in the deck. We play 1 Link Karibo. Link Karibo works extremely well with Black Metal Dragon for the World Legacy Guard Dragon combo. Like if you just open this Black Metal and World Legacy Guard Dragon, then you need Link Karibo to be able to combo off, to be able to do that line of play. He's good like if you've exhausted these 2 and you just need to link away your Black Metal Dragon, then you can just go into a Link Karibo. You can bring it back during your opponent's turn. So here's a cool thing, right? So if you Hieratic on your opponent's turn, of course, and you summon a monster from deck, you can summon a Black Metal Dragon and then bring back your Link Karibo from graveyard. and search from that black metal dragon to have a discard. If you've exhausted your hand, you can search for a card to have a discard for Dragoon. So you can search for like a trap or whatever. If you don't mind you losing them, you can search for an extra monster in the deck if you want to get it engraved. It's a really cool, neat little thing you can do. Or you can just have Linkuriboh out on the field to protect. Like if they normal summon a monster and they try to attack your Heratic, then you can just have Linkuriboh and just protect it. Like there's a couple of he works really well in the deck for his arrow, for his usage, for just recursion. It's pretty good. Next we have our Pisty. So any one of these level 4 lower dragons is a Pisty. And if we have the zones, if we have like a Saryuja out, or we've tricked our zones with the guard dragon, then we can summon any dragon back from graveyard or banished, which is most likely going to be your black metal dragon, to get additional searches. It just keeps the combo going. We have one striker dragon on link summon and searching for a boot sector, and we keep that in our hand for whatever use we need it be. And he has a second effect that doesn't really come up in this deck, but you can target a face-up monster you control, destroy it, and then add back a rocket from your graveyard, which like you can get rid of like Ib if you're kind of like stuck on her a little bit, or if you're stuck on like a Pisty and you don't really want to if you've got like Pisty, this guy, and then like a Saryuja or something, you're just in a weird spot, you can just destroy the Pisty and just go into the Verte or whatever. It can clear up your board a little bit, but I've never really like had to do that. So I think I did it like once and I was like, well, there's definitely better plays I could do, but it was just less thought. But it's good to have. It's something to keep in mind. Heratic, part of our end board or potential end board. It's a non-target bounce during our opponent's turn, and mandatory summons a dragon from the hand or deck, or at least attempts to. It becomes 0/0, but the best target for this card is like always Magnamut, which is weird. So like the best target to summon from Heratic is to summon Magnamut and then search. I don't know why, it just always works out like that. Like I just find having something in hand is better. So like during the end phase I'll add Tempest or this guy, and then I just discard it for Dragoon, and then they do stuff in grave, so it's like, and there's not much to really think about. We play Romulus to search for our Dragon's Ravine, and so Romulus, if a monster is summoned, a dragon is summoned from the extra deck to his zone, you can summon a dragon from your hand, but it can't be used as link material. So you can summon this guy out, and then with one of these guys go into Disbatter. You can summon one of these guys out and summon and use it for Mecha Phantom Beast. And you can even summon like Black Metal or one of these guys and use it for Ib. There's a couple of different cool things you can do, but just be warned, you can't use it for a link summon. It can get stuck on your board and clog you up and not do anything good for you. You can next we play one IP. IP is just nice for some of our different kinds of end boards. So if we have a Verte, we can end with an IP. Before we use our Verte, of course, we can end with IP, and then these two can make a 2 negate Appaloosa. Or if you've got like another lingering monster, you can make a 3 negate Appaloosa, which doesn't sound like insane, but like a 2 or 3 negate Appaloosa plus Dragoon plus Lord of the Red, like that's a pretty powerful end board. We play our infamous Verte to basically cheat out Dragoon, while being able to combo and then end off with Verte to cheat out our Dragoon. He pays 2,000, which is like kind of a hefty price, but 2,000 doesn't matter if you're just gonna win, so don't worry about it. One thing you should know. So if you don't have the droplets, he's a risky card to just have on the field and just leave an attack position. Like, because he's only 500 and you're paying 2,000. So like, if your opponent is playing some like weird nonsense, then like they can just you don't want to deal with this. So once you've resolved his effect and summoned your Dragoon, you can activate his effect, target Lord of the Red to make him a dark until the end of the turn, and then chain Lord of the Red to pop Verte. Or if they even affect Veiler or Imperm Verte, then you can chain Lord of the Red, pop him, and then you get him off the field, and he's dodging the Imperm / negate. So it's Lord of the Red works really well with him. You just get him off the field. This effect to make something dark, there's no cost. It's just target. You can just do it just for free, just to get him off the field, and it doesn't even bother the Lord of the Red because he's gonna be a fire at the end of the turn again. So they can't even super poly. You can't even super poly your board if you're going first. So it's really, really good to note. Make sure you do that. We play one Little Knight. Little Knight, Masquerena, Striker Dragon, Link Rebo. Like, Little Knight just works with so many of these cards to just banish a card our opponent controls, to out a Floodgate, out a Tricky Monster, force out a Negate, and then just keep our combo going, play it off, and just keep going. Great card, phenomenal to have. It's also another trigger. So if our opponent activates a card or effect, then we can chain Lord of the Red, and they chain something else, and then we can chain this, and then chain Lord of the Red. Like, it's another card that can keep things going. We play our one Saryuja. Now, the reason why I play Saryuja in this deck, because you could say that, like, instead of Saryuja, you can just summon Appaloosa and just chill on that for a bit. The reason why I like Saryuja instead is that there's a couple of bricks. So Dark Magician, sometimes Red Eyes Fusion, like, some of these cards are kind of like bricks. So you want to, like, put them back and then just draw into, like, you want to draw into better cards and then put the bricks back. So the way this deck functions is you can do that really, really simply. So it's like it's so advantageous to summon Saryuja. It feels like it doesn't even feel like draw 4, put 3 back. It feels like just have 4 good cards in your hand, or however many cards in your hand. Just change that for just +1 with just better cards. Like you're putting back a damn Dark Magician and getting like Magnamut or Ash Blossom or Called by the Grave or Droplets or Moonlit Chill. Like once you get to the point where you summon this, you've gotten so many like Garnets out the deck, or there's like little engines like this Dragon Ruler engine or this Rocket engine that you haven't seen yet, that you're seeing engines that you haven't seen yet, or you're seeing hand traps and like more disruptions. Like, it's just a great card. Every time you activate this card, it's just banger, 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 banger. And then we play one Appaloosa, which is for like, we have so many like links that just kind of linger around. We have IP and Verte and we just have this guy that lingers around actually. But this guy lingers around. He's a link too. Sometimes you don't want to just get rid of him. You want to IP. You want to like just get another monster in the field. You can Spirit, bring something back, and then just have a nice boss monster. Have a nice additional boss monster on the board. You don't have to play this. You can switch this out for like Flare Metal or something. Like, I don't play any Flare Metals because our 7s are just doing other things. So it's like a little tricky to try and play one. And I find that if you're playing Flare Metal, he's a tricky card to play on his own. Like, you kind of just summon him to, like, if your opponent's low on life points, you kind of just summon him just to like burn your opponent. But he's so easily like outable, and like he's not insanely tough to deal with. But like, if our opponent's low on life points, we've already got Dragoon, we've got Moonlit Chill, we've got other things to keep up the pressure that I feel like Flare Metal is just not. He's just not doing enough. Like, even if we're able to consistently summon like 2 of him, 2, maybe even 3, then yeah, we definitely play him. But the way things go, that's just not like what the deck does. So we don't play him, but you could play him in place of this. You could switch this out for Borload Savage Dragon. There's a couple of things you can do, but if you play Borload, you gotta include a guy. You gotta include a guy for this guy. You could also play like Barone because this is the only thing that dark locks you, and you hardly ever use it. Like, this dragon locks you, but only while he's on the field. So you could play Barone. You could have a couple of different things going. You could play more rank 7s for these guys. It's really up to you how you want to like tweak this deck. But like, after like some hours of testing and building stuff, I find this to be like just like a insanely powerful and fun build. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys want to see the replays, let me know and I'll get that to you fast. Take care, and you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.